What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the TC Trading channel. So in today's video, we're going to be diving into how to sell covered calls on Webull, okay? So we are right now on the Webull desktop. It's going to be very, very similar on mobile, but I'm on my customized layout, which I will leave a link down below to a video on my other channel on how to create a customized layout similar to this. Obviously, you can customize it however you see fit. But I want to sell some covered calls, okay? So I'm going to pull up a stock that I want to sell covered calls on, and that is VISL. It's actually a stock that I have a position on right here. I bought some more today, but I wanted to sell some covered calls. Now, generally speaking, you probably don't want to sell covered calls when a stock is down. And I'll explain why, okay? So if we take a look at the option chain, now you'll have to have the option chain pulled up. So you want to make sure you go over to the toolbox in the top right and add the widget options, which we talk about in that customized layout video. So I go to the option chain, and now I can select what strike price and what time frame I want to sell a covered call. So you can see actually right here, there's a -10. That means I've already sold 10 covered calls for this stock, for this strike price, right, for this date, which is July 16th, okay? So I've sold the $5 covered calls. The stock is trading below $5. A quick intro here on covered calls. So how this stuff works is essentially if you own over 100 shares of a given stock, you have the right to sell calls against your position, okay? So if the stock ends up closing and finishing the day by that expiration above or in the money, right, which means above that strike price that you select. So for example, this one is 5. If VISL finishes above $5 by that date, well, those shares could get those calls could get executed, and they will take my shares, right? They will take my shares, and my shares will essentially be sold at $5. Okay, so it's essentially like you're getting paid to set a limit order or a limit sell at a specific price, if that makes sense. But what happens if we don't get there? If we don't hit $5 come the expiration? Well, nothing. What ends up happening is you keep the premium that you sold those covered calls for in the first place. So let's do it right here. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. I want to make sure that I'm on the left-hand side, which is the call side of the option layout here, $5 covered calls, and I want to make sure I'm going to do that. Now, I'm going to go and sell covered calls here on VISL. So if I take a peek, we're looking at strike price of 5, VISL, here's the expiration that I want, call, sell. Now, I want to sell just one for the sake of this video. I'm going to sell just one covered call. And in order to sell a covered call, you have to have 100 shares. Let's say you have 1,000 shares, well, you can sell 10. Or you can sell 5. You don't have to sell all of them, right? If you have every 100 shares, that allows the ability to sell one covered call against your shares. And in this case, the bid and the ask is between 5 and 10. Generally speaking, I'd like to get filled towards the asking price. But in this case, the stock is down, so you're probably not going to get filled towards the ask, you're probably going to get filled towards the bid. So I'm going to sell it at that 5 cents, which means I'm going to get paid $5, okay? So in terms of what you actually get paid right now, I am getting paid 5 cents times those 100 shares that I'm writing this covered call for, okay? So that's $5, okay? That's how you calculate. The same thing with options, right? If you're going to, let's say you're buying, if someone's buying these calls and you don't have a position underlying in VISL, it'll cost you $5 to buy one contract here. So you could do that as well. But of course, the expiration date is pretty close when I'm filming this video, and the stock is, under $3, and I'm selling a covered call for 5. So chances of this going into the money, very low, which essentially is free money in my eyes, because worst case scenario, the stock goes 5 plus. I'm glad. Take my shares at 5. Take my shares at 5, please. I would be glad to sell you my shares at 5 in a week and a half from when this expires. But if not, I get paid $5 in the process. So where you could go wrong here and feel like you're missing out is if a stock that you've sold a covered call on goes way past that strike price. So for example, let's say VISL goes to $20 next week before the expiration. Well, then I'm going to look at it and say, well, I shouldn't have sold so many covered calls at 5 because I could have held a lot more shares and made money on the shares. So that's where you can run into trouble in terms of like selling covered calls, getting you in a tough spot. But it helps minimize the red in a sense, or it helps at least make a few dollars when, maybe things aren't working out perfectly, right? So generally speaking, these covered calls will have more value on a green day when the stock is up, when everyone's buying and there's more euphoria around the stock, and they generally will have less value on a red day, for example, today, but I've already sold plenty of covered calls, so in a sense here, I'm just doing this to make an extra $5. That's all it is, okay? So I'm gonna sell that covered call right there. I place my order, give me the confirmation and sell, and then boom, I got the little notification on my phone, on my watch, option order filled. I have sold now one contract VISL at 5 cents, which gives me a net credit of $5 at the current time. So there you guys have it. That's a quick lesson and intro on covered calls selling on Webull. Now I have a negative 11 here on that position. All that's going to happen is if VISL doesn't end up over 5 come July 16th, this position will just go away. They don't take my money back. I still got paid initially. The calls expire worthless, but I still got paid at the time I sold them, so it's all good in my book. And then I'll go do the same exact thing again for August 20th. I'll go reassess. So for example, right now, if I wanted to go sell some covered calls for August 20th, I'll get paid 20 cents per contract. So if I wanted to go and sell 20 contracts for a $5 call, covered call, August 20th, that'll be just about $200 I'm going to get credited for. So not a bad idea, especially as you kind of play with a larger share size, as you have more shares. But for example, some stocks like this, a stock that I'm willing to hold for quite some time, I'm going to do this every single month. There you guys have it. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you're jumping down below, subscribing to the channel, hitting that thumbs up button. There's a link down below for Webull. You can get 2 free stocks when you sign up and deposit only $5. It's a short-term promotion that they are running. Click that link and confirm if you're watching this after the fact. But they used to be doing a promotion where it was $100 when you deposit $100, you get that second free stock. Now it's only $5 to get 2 free stocks. So check out those links down below. Sign up, get access to that. Make sure you're subscribed. Check out our other channels, also linked in the description box down below. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.